How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to Maidencast. We're doing a new episode. We're not going to be doing a review just yet. We know.
Yep.
We've got it. New Blaze
Wait.
album.
Good things come to those
But
who
we're just
wait.
digesting it still. We don't want to just
Yep.
rush out a review. And you've got the whole series there. This is up forever. So we're not going to do an initial reaction. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing Blaze this year. And well, we've got all sorts coming up, obviously, with Bruce's solo album, and I've got a feeling there's going to be a British Lion one. I think Paul Di'Anno is going to be doing something. So
Well,
yeah,
you'll be able to see all three of Maiden's recorded singers, in the same calendar year.
Yeah,
and playing barely any Maiden songs.
So there's going to be plenty of Maiden activity this year, but this is something that we've been discussing between the two of us. It's something we've pondered, and we thought, this warrants a Maidencast episode.
Yeah, we've done it before. We did it before with another certain divisive member of the band. So we thought we'd
we did the Blaze question, and we analysed what exactly was wrong in the fans' eyes when it came to Blaze, and could that situation have been rectified? Like what could have changed in order for the Blaze situation to work? And I think we came to the conclusion actually after we recorded that episode, when we basically said the main thing they got against him is that he's nothing like Bruce, and they should have got a singer that sounded more similar to Bruce. But Judas Priest did that with Tim Owens.
Yeah.
And the outcome was exactly the same. So you got that with Bruce, and you all did the same thing to Tim. So you got that with Priest, sorry. Then you did the same thing to Tim. So that one summed up. But it was a good conversation anyway. So so tonight we're going to be talking about Janick Gers and
Janick.
Just what exactly does we always seem to see? He always is the subject of. He gets a lot of flack.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the same amount of abuse in Maiden circles that Donald Trump gets in mainstream circles, and
he's the Donald Trump.
Why? Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. So we've been pondering what exactly. So you put out a post in a couple of the Maiden Facebook pages, etc. Just saying, look, serious question. What if you don't like Janick? What exactly is it don't you like about him? And we got a bunch of answers back. So one by one, we're going to be going through them and asking, do any of these criticisms hold up? We're going to be devil's advocate. We're going to sit in the chair and hear people out. So, anything you want to speak about, or do you want to get straight into it?
Well, no, it's just, this is Janick. I mean, the guy's been around, when I read this stuff, people seem to forget that he's been a member of Maiden longer than Adrian.
Well, he's the new guitarist, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's the new guy.
Yeah, he's been in the band longer than Adrian has, and he's been
in terms of time served. Yeah,
and he's been there. He didn't fuck off and come back and all the rest of it after doing whatever. And he's been around since the dawn of new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah,
he's had his fucking fingers in the pie. I mean, he was part of that Gogmagog fucking shit. That super group put together by the old Jonathan King. So obviously he was a name then.
So he was in the heavy metal band White Spirit. I think they were part of the whole new wave. Mind you, that goes back as far as 75.
75 is when they started. They didn't actually release an album until 80. Maiden come out first.
So he released the same year Iron Maiden released their debut. Then he's joined Ian Gillan's
He got invited to join Ian Gillan's solo band. He weren't just in it. Ian Gillan went, Jan, Bernie's gone to join Ozzy. I want you to come in and take his place.
Yeah, he's done two albums. Now, you're hardly going to be a slouch when Ian Gillan is hiring you for his solo band. Ian Gillan was in one of the biggest rock bands. Some people argue they were the first heavy metal band rather than Sabbath. I wouldn't agree with that myself, but that doesn't mean I have any less respect for them.
Yeah.
But you can have that argument the other day. And Ian Gillan is certainly one of the most influential vocalists on heavy metal singers, particularly Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford. I mean, I'll be doing some Judas Priest reviews soon, and that's one thing I will be bringing up, especially on the debut album Rock'n'Roller. Like, it's like, this is purple, you know. So yeah, you can't be a slouch if you're playing for Ian Gillan. Is my point there?
Exactly.
So then he joins Iron Maiden. Oh, he actually does a bit of work.
Well, he goes, with a bit of a journeyman. He goes around. He worked with Fish.
Yeah, he did. He co-wrote one of the.
And that's what brought him to the attention of Bruce Dickinson, because they did this Prince's Trust rock gig at Wembley, and Janick was playing with Fish, and I think Bruce was either on the bill or a part of it or something, and he saw him play, and he was like, "Fucking hell!" So when Bruce was doing Tattooed Millionaire, he needed a guitarist, and all right, Janick, yeah, Bruce.
Well, I think Yannick's career had sort of dried up at that point. And I think he was thinking of throwing in the towel.
And I think
Bruce went, "No, you can't be doing that."
Anyway.
Yeah, that he was aware of him, and he went, "No, fuck that."
Yeah, I think it goes back to the Samson days. They sort of crossed paths on the,
which makes sense if he was in White City. So
yeah,
so he's been doing the rounds in the 70s and early 80s anyway. Two albums with Ian Gillan. Then he jumps on board, does a bit of work with Fish for his first solo album after leaving Marillion.
Yeah, wrote a couple of songs for him.
Marillion's another band who Steve Harris is a big fan of.
Yep.
Then he does Bruce's first solo album, Tattooed Millionaire, and then joins Iron Maiden in 1990, and he has been there ever since.
Yep.
And he's done 10 albums with him. I just had to do a quick count. Yeah, 10 albums since then. So the guy's got the chops. He's got the work. He's done the work before joining. He had a more than commendable CV previous to joining Iron Maiden, and he's been a consistent, reliable member ever since. So he doesn't contribute to Maiden. Let's get into that then.
Well,
let's go through the songwriting credits, shall we?
Well, fuck me. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he joined too late for No Prayer to be in the songwriting.
Right, we'll skip that one then, because that's what I'm on there.
Starting to Fear of the Dark. Boom. First track, Fear of the Dark.
And if that's if you do want to make that point as well, Bruce Dickinson didn't write anything for Number of the Beast when he first joined either.
I think Bruce
read between the lines on that one, but we'll go with the official.
Yeah, Bruce was contractual, I think, whereas Janick simply came in too late.
Yeah.
But songwriting.
3,
fucking boom.
Five songs on X Factor. Oh, sorry, no, Fear of the Dark.
Fear of the Dark.
5 songs on Fear of the Dark. X Factor. I should have had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs on X Factor.
Only one on Virtual 11.
You know that one already, dear. All right.
Yeah, that one. Como Está Amigo. Brave New World.
1,
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're looking as well, yeah? 4.
Yeah. Dance of Death.
Go on, you do Dance of Death, and I'll look up
3 on Dance of Death.
Matter of Life and Death.
2.
All right.
Final Frontier. He's got 2. Book of Souls, 2. And Senjutsu, he's got 2. Now, obviously, bear in mind, he don't write, he's not a soul writer like Steve is, or like Bruce does. He writes with, and invariably he's writing with Steve Harris.
Don't forget as well, I don't think he's not in the writing credits, but I swear I've read somewhere, and he probably didn't go in the credits because he went, "You know what? I don't need the money. We've just got the Brave New World thing coming up." But
Silicon Messiah.
Yeah, he contributed to Silicon Messiah, and a lot of the basic structure of that album was songs that him and that Blaze and Janick were writing for what would be the next Maiden album.
Yeah, because if you look at X Factor and Virtual 11, or not Virtual 11 so much, but X Factor, the most prominent songwriting partnership there is Janick and Blaze.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't say he's not contributed, because
he writes songs. And let's be honest,
he's written, apart from No Prayer of Dying, which he couldn't contribute to because he hadn't joined in time. But ever since, he has contributed as much as 7 on one album, or at least one.
Yeah.
Ever since.
And he's not just writing. He's not writing Sun and Still, ladies and gentlemen. He's writing Be Quick or Be Dead. He's writing The Talisman. He wrote fucking Judgment Day, the song that should have been on the X Factor.
Yeah.
He wrote The Unbeliever, arguably the best ending track Maiden have ever done. Now that will cause an argument, I know that.
No, well, not between us.
Tell me in the comments.
No. Yeah.
He wrote Dance of Death, which for me is a top 10 Maiden song. And I'll die on that hill.
I don't like that one, do I? I remember coming back
Fuck,
to that
man.
one. Yeah.
He wrote that. That gives me goosebumps. He wrote that.
Yeah.
He wrote The Book of Souls, the title track.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Legacy. You know, he wrote Stratego on Senjutsu, which is, you know,
good enough to
it was
be
great
a single.
when it came out. It's nice, punchy, upbeat in your face. Like I say, fuck me. It's not like he don't write Sun and Still. He writes major songs. If you look at all those songs on the albums,
yeah,
invariably you're like, fucking hell, that's one of the top 3 songs on the album. You know, forget your Adrian and your Bruce fucking. You know, we know they write fucking top bollock songs. They always have done. They have done for 40 years.
Well, they always have.
They write bangers. Yeah. But Janick doesn't contribute. Yet you look at the songs you love from Latter Day Maiden, and I guarantee you Yannick's written one of the songs, at least.
Definitely. So the fact that he doesn't contribute, that's out the window. What's the next one?
He butchers Adrian's solos.
Well, does he though? I mean, he's got 2 other guitarists in the band. You've got Steve Harris, who's known for being Paul Di'Anno called him a Nazi.
You say potato, I say potato.
Yeah, but you know, ex-members have said that Steve Harris runs a tight ship. He does not suffer falls, and you won't bullshit him. Well, you fucked that solo up.
Bruce has come out recently in this month's Metal Hammer and said, it's not that I don't enjoy Maiden albums, but we're not allowed to play around like kids.
I just saw that headline. I didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, you know, Steve
is on it. Yeah.
To paraphrase,
we've got a job to do.
What Nick Menza used to say about Dave Mustaine. It's Steve's dream, and he's kind enough to dream me in it.
Yeah.
You know, but Bruce, he said, like, we've been almost, you know, not going as far to say we're having fun, but, you know, it's Steve's fucking band. So nothing happens in that band. Nothing gets written in that band. Nothing gets played live or on record or whatever. That Steve hasn't gone, okay.
Yeah. So if he's playing sloppily butchering and all the rest of it, Steve's going to notice that, and the other band members are going to notice that as well.
Yeah. Do you think Adrian's going to think? Well, hang about. I wrote that solo,
and Rod's on the side of the stage watching the band Hulk as well, because he's not just a band manager; he's a football manager.
Yeah,
really. And don't forget, Steve Harris is a failed footballer, first and foremost.
Well, I don't think he's a failed footballer. He made a choice, didn't he?
Just like Ricky Gervais is a failed musician, you know, but his first career choice would have been a footballer.
Yeah.
You know, and he's applied that discipline to being in a band.
Yeah.
And it's rare. It's actually quite rare. He's got that sportsman mentality, and that's how he runs it, you know. And I think Rod's pretty much the same. So if this guy's just flailing around butchering solos, they're going to be on him quick.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's
well, they would have been on him nearly 35 years ago.
Well, that's the thing as well. Yeah,
they've had long enough.
They've had long enough to notice it. Yeah,
we're talking a good chunk of a century.
Yeah, I was 6 when he joined that band.
Yeah,
but he's still the new bloke.
You know, and again, Adrian wrote the solos. If Adrian had a problem, he'd go, "Fucking hell, Jan, what are you doing? Let me, you know, I want to play it." Adrian don't care.
Yeah,
Adrian doesn't fucking care. You know,
you're arguing on this guy's behalf when he's there and he's quite capable of talking
Exactly. This is Adrian Smith. This is one of the world's greatest guitarists, and he doesn't fucking give a shit.
Yeah.
If he did, he'd be gone, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's got so many other fucking musical interests other than heavy metal. He you know, he didn't want to know. He'd be off.
Yeah, he'd go carp fishing and
yeah, that's it.
So
but, you know,
what else?
People then the butchering the solos. People say, is it because Janick can't play the solos?
Again, he's had plenty of time.
When they play the Trooper, Adrian and Janick play Adrian's solo pretty much note for note. They duel it. So if Janick can't play the solos, how come he's just copied Janick? How come he's just copied Adrian's solo every time they played the Trooper for the last 35 or last 30 years? So that's not ringing true here already.
Yeah. So why can't he just play rhythm guitar?
Yeah, that's another one I saw recently. Why can't Steve stop him playing solos altogether? Rhythm only.
Because he's not Scott Ian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that? I mean, that is just absolute nonsense. I mean, he's been good enough for Ian Gillan, for Fish, good enough for Bruce when Bruce wanted a solo album written. And if you listen to his playing on Tattooed Millionaire, perfection. And it's nothing like,
and you can watch the concert from that tour as well, because they put a video out, didn't they?
It's nothing like, you know, what people perceive to be in butchering solos or not playing scales or all this bollocks, you know. And that makes me think perhaps Janick's gone, when he joined Maiden, he's thought, right, I'm replacing Adrian Smith, one of the greatest guitarists of all time in heavy metal. We've just seen him for 10 years, just tearing it up. And I'm going to be standing next to Dave Murray, another one of the greatest heavy metal guitarists of all time. And these two have had a partnership. They've been tight as a duck's arse for 10 years. I can't just go in and be Adrian, and I can't go in and compete with Dave. I've got to be my own character, otherwise I'm never going to survive.
No, what you said was, oh, but I can't play solos. Shit. Tell you what I'll do. I'll just swing my guitar around.
Yeah.
and just bang on the thing and just hope no one notices. Yeah. And it's worked. You know what I mean? Clearly, they haven't noticed since 1990. Yeah.
You know, but he's like, why is he going to copy someone else? He's going to be his own player. And coincidentally...
And that's what Steve would want as well.
That's what, exactly. And coincidentally, if you go back and look at fucking White Spirit gigs, which are on YouTube, Janick is doing the same thing. Or he's doing the thing that he does now, which is fucking running his hand up and down a fretboard and all the rest of it. That's what Janick does on stage. And he don't just stand there, you know, Malcolm Young in it. He's all over the place, because let's face it, Adrian don't really move.
No, he's done it on the
Dave
on
don't
the Tattooed
move.
Millionaire concert as well.
Yeah.
When a band comes out at the very beginning, he's like there smashing his guitar into the monitor before it's even
yeah. You know, he's a showman.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time you can either be a showman or you can play. Not many people can do both.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time people are being showmen because they're covering up for an inadequacy in their playing. Not Janick. Janick's a fucking blistering guitar player. Again, you don't get the fucking former singer of Deep Purple invite you to join his solo band if you ain't no good.
Yeah, think of the choices he would have had as well. He would have been queuing up. He would have had guitarists queuing up, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So, you know.
And the same goes for Bruce, really. If Bruce wanted to do a solo album, again, he would have, I need a guitar player. Like he would have cassettes thrown at him.
Oh, people would have been falling over themselves, wouldn't they, to record
Fish, obviously, highly influential frontman and well respected in the certainly in the prog rock circles. So again, like, and all the pressure would have been on him at that point, because that would have been his first solo album, and you only get to make one first solo album, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Someone what's the word, disagreed with me when I was saying about this with the in my I did the special edition of Holy Diver. Where I was saying about, you know, this had to work, otherwise it was bust for Ronnie. And someone said, well, no, Ronnie was massive at the time. I was like, yeah, but he might have been massive, but I would argue a singer branching out and going solo is just as big a risk, if not a bigger risk, than a well-established band replacing their vocalist. I think the solo album is just as much a step out there. If that, he basically put all of his money into that album, and it was like, if this flops, it's over.
It's over. Yeah,
it had to work. So he would have had to have got a good guitarist with good songs, and the same thing would have been with Marillion, because Marillion were massive at the time.
Oh, of course they were. Fucking hell, yeah.
So Fish would have been, the pressure would have been on him to deliver a good first album.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's good enough for Fish as well.
It's funny that, isn't it?
It's funny as well, because I don't know if have you ever listened to that. It's a odd album. It's a unique album.
I've not really.
I saw that when you see who's involved, you think, oh, this might be a bit of a rocker, but no, it's fucking out there. But Fishy stuff. It's you either. Yeah, that's a separate subject for another time.
Yeah, no one wants that tangent, mate.
Yeah, but it's different for what you're expecting Janick to be involved in, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, we actually touched on this a few way back early in the series, and I think my point remains the same as it did then. It was, Janick is taking up a space. He's taking up a seat on the plane. He's a meal for the catering team. He's a room at the hotel. He's another monitor for the roadies to set up, and he's a wage. If they didn't think that money and resources weren't worth the expenditure, he would have been gone. He'd have been gone ages ago.
A long time ago. And when you think back, you know, obviously he joined and replaced Adrian. You know, joined at his mate's request, Bruce. And then literally 2 albums later, Bruce fucks off. And he's thinking, fuck, I'm flying, you know, the safety net's gone now. I've got to fucking really pull it out of the bag. You know, because my boy ain't here no more. So he steps up, takes Blaze under his wing. It all goes to the wall with Blaze, obviously, as we know, for whatever reason. So then he's faced with shit. Wakes up one morning, Steve Harris calls him and said, Dave and Bruce and Adrian are coming back. And he must be thinking, fuck. And I remember Steve actually coming out, there's a quote somewhere from Steve.
It's in the book.
That Janick actually said, so what's that mean for me? And Steve's like, well, what do you fucking mean? What's it mean for you? You're a member of Iron Maiden. You're a guitarist in Iron Maiden. If Adrian don't like it, he can fuck off. Yeah, you're going nowhere.
If this doesn't work, he will be going.
He goes, you're going nowhere. Which
that's in the Run to the Hills book. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's the governor saying, you're going nowhere, mate.
And and I would put 1 point further to your original was that Bruce was Janick's safety net. I would even disagree with that. Janick being Bruce's mate and Bruce being Janick's safety net only would have got him to the door of the audition.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Once he was in that room, it's Janick and Steve now. Bruce can fuck off.
That's it, yeah. Exactly.
It was Steve that he would have had to have impressed, no matter who he was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even then it wouldn't. So, yeah, he's stayed that whole time, and then when Bruce has gone, it makes no difference.
He's there on merit, isn't he?
Yeah. Is there any other points that they
were?
Or was it just the same 3 or 4 points?
No, it seems to be the same thing. You know, I fucking throws his guitar up in the air, or he ravages strings and he throws it on the ground and all that. And it's like, but that goes back to him being a showman. You know, Bruce runs around like a fucking nutter. Steve's up and down, pogoing and fucking all the rest of it. You know, Dave and Adrian don't move around. You know, they go back to back and all that sort of stuff, but they stay in their lane.
Bruce fucks around and makes people trip over.
Yeah. You know, the two guitarists stay in the lane. So Janick's like, shit, I need to make this side of the stage. This is where the action is. So that's why he's fucking prancing around and fucking all this shit. And he's a showman. And like I said, very few musicians are great musicians and put on a show at the same time. Yeah. You're either one or the other. Janick does both. and he's also a fucking, you know, and he's got the triple threat because he can write a banger. He's the perfect guitarist for Maiden.
Yeah.
Just as much as Adrian is the perfect guitarist for Maiden, and the fact that Dave was the perfect guitarist for Maiden. You know, you had lightning in a bottle with Dave and Adrian. Anyone who says, like, what's the best 80s guitar combo? Dave and Adrian. Fuck Kirk and Lars. Fuck Scott and fucking Dan. Fuck all of it, like Dave and fucking whoever happened to be the guitarist in the band, fucking Mike Friedman, Megadeth. Dave and Adrian. They were 80s metal. And it weren't KK and fucking Glenn Tipton either. It was Dave and Adrian. So,
what are you looking at me for? I wasn't going to say nothing.
No, I'm saying, but you know, you've got all these, but it's Dave and Adrian. So how the fuck?
Yeah.
But then you go and get another one in Janick who's just as fucking good.
Yeah, but again, as well, you know, frontmen get a bad reputation for having an ego and all the rest of it. Don't tell me guitarists don't have egos.
Oh yeah,
if that three guitarist lineup weren't working, if they weren't gelling, it's a miracle. And it's a miracle, really. You've got a band with 3 guitarists, and it's lasted.
Well,
24. Well, coming up to 25 years. Yeah, what was it? 99 when that started. Yeah, 25.
Yeah, so 25
years that's lasted.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah,
you know, put it in those terms. A quarter of a century. All those egos have been.
And 3 guitarists have managed to get along perfectly fine.
And Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
You know, because
I'm
Bruce,
just saying the dynamic of 3 guitarists. But what other band has 3 guitarists?
Oh yeah, no.
Equally share.
Yeah.
The duties. You know. So yeah.
And it's the same thing though. You know, he ruins the gigs. What? How's he ruined the fucking gigs?
He's ruined the gigs that you keep going to as well, I bet.
Yeah.
Like if you went, I saw Iron Maiden back in 1993, and that Janick ruined the night, and I've never gone back since.
He butchered Adrian's solos.
You would have all right. If that's what you think, that's what you think, and you've never gone back since. Fair enough.
Yeah, then
if you've going back, to your guns, it's like, well, more for you at this point. Yeah, if he's ruining the gig.
Yeah. But you've dropped about 700 quid on tickets since then. And you keep going there and standing in the same spot. You probably get the same side of the stage and you probably stand there like that.
Yeah.
Just staring at him. And
I hate him.
Yeah. It's like, fucking, what you doing? You know, go over to the fucking bar.
Yeah. Go over to Dave's side.
Yeah. And, you know, I can't stress this enough. Just how much of a fucking awesome songwriter he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, and he works with Steve. I mean, Steve Harris is. I mean, we've said before, Steve Harris is. You know, he's heavy metal poetry, isn't he? You know, he's one of the greatest fucking storytellers that Hollywood never produced. You know, we said it many times. I think we said it during the Senjutsu review that he'll never get the fucking recognition he deserves for his songwriting and his storytelling abilities. But this is the man that gets all the Janick's stuff the most and shapes it. You know, and them two make a song that's just fucking unreal. Like I said, the title track, The Book of Souls. Fuck me.
And that was centerpiece of that tour,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It was. You know, Empire of the Clouds might have eclipsed it on the album.
Yeah.
But that was, like you say, that was the epic in the middle.
That was the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner of that tour, wasn't it? That was the center.
Dance of Death was.
Yeah.
You know,
fair enough.
I know it shared a bit of spotlight with Passchendaele on the Death on the Road tour. But Dance of Death was played again.
Yeah, it did stay in the set,
tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that song, fuck me, that gives me goosebumps. That is top 10 Maiden.
Yeah, absolutely. I said my thing about it, but objectively, it stands up, and I'm in the minority in that. And it's not a terrible song. It's not thingy. I just always felt that went on a bit too long. But
you asked,
that's just me, because it clearly worked in the stage show, and it stayed in the set.
Yeah. And you asked people what their favourite track on Final Frontier is. 9 out of 10 will say the Talisman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, who wrote that?
Yeah.
Janick.
Yeah.
Janick and Steve. Aside from Fear of the Dark, what's the best track on Fear of the Dark? Be Quick or Be Dead. Who wrote that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Janick. You know what I mean? It's a recurring thing, yeah. The best one of people always talk about the best track on Matter of Life and Death, The Legacy. For me, the best track on Virtual 11 is Como Está Amigo. Musically, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Janick. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but
yeah. You could go through the songwriting credits and just make the list of everyone that he's involved in. Just use that as a playlist on its own, and you'll see that
it's a banger.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate set list.
And I'll repeat myself again as well. You know, if this guy wasn't pulling his weight, they'd save themselves some money, and if they're keeping him just because that's a tax write-off, they'll just funnel money into someone so it keeps their profits low. They can hire me.
Yeah.
And I can, I'll play maracas for Iron Maiden, but
I wanted to go into this to play devil's advocate, but
I would have, if someone made a legitimate point, I would have entertained it. If someone said something where I've gone, oh, I would have thought of it like that, or I didn't know that. Like, did you know? But that changes everything. Is that true? Right. Okay. Let's look into that. Or if someone just gave an actual take, well, I've gone, no. Now you've said that, I can't unnotice it. Yeah, you're right. I'm open for it, but no, I just genuinely.
But it's
none of the arguments seem to stand up. And if you don't like someone's stage presence, I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that.
Yeah, no, that's your thing.
Yeah, if you don't like the way someone dances,
it's
wait till you've seen me. Is the answer there?
Yes. But like you say, it's such pure old shit, isn't it? Oh, I don't like it. Why? I don't know. Those sort of arguments don't wash, especially when you just obliterating somebody, eviscerating somebody on the internet. I know he don't fucking read it. He'd sooner go and watch Hartlepool United. He's a season ticket holder there. He ain't going to waste his time on the internet. But it's a fucking joke because
I'm sure he cries himself to sleep at night. Yeah, all the money he makes,
all the fucking money he gets as a songwriter. Yeah, that the songs that all of his are played live.
Oh, I've got another 55 shows to do next year. I hope I don't upset him.
But like I say, I wanted to come across and all that, but the more I thought about it, the more it winds me up, and I have to restrain myself every time I see a post on a forum because I don't want to be that somebody is wrong on the internet guy, But it's the same stupid shit over and over again with no substance to it. And at the end of the day, everything that people claim to love about modern day Maiden is thanks to Janick. He's helped shape that sound. He's helped form,
I know there's a certain sect of the fan base as well that think the band stopped at Fear at the Dark.
Oh yeah.
But
no. As we've discussed,
can't help them either.
No. As we discussed at length, people who claim to like modern day Maiden but don't rate the X Factor, talking bollocks. Because without the X Factor, there ain't no modern day Maiden.
No, it all started with that album,
and we discussed it
in 2.5 hours. That was
the
magnum opus episode.
Yeah, nearly 3 hours that was. But I just, and it's going to be the argument till the end of time, isn't it? It's going to keep coming up. It's going to be like herpes; it just don't go away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's never going to be anything. No one's going to be able to, like you say, that person that makes you go, fucking hell, yeah. I don't even think of it like that. Until that person comes. If you're that person, drop us a comment and let us know.
Yeah, genuinely, we will entertain it.
But a valid argument in the comments, we'll do the Janick question part 2.
Yeah.
And we'll address your comment.
Yeah. Tell us where we're wrong and we will do a follow-up.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll give a rebuttal. And
yeah.
And and like I say, I'd genuinely be interested to know. Drop a clanger, mate. Give us something that we can't argue with.
Yeah, that's it. You know, cool. If you think I've been a bit too, because Joe's been a bit more level-headed than me on this one, because like I say, this one has wound me up for about 20 years. And you know, he's like, bastards, you know, because most of my top Maiden songs are written by Janick, and I just can't see past that. The songs I go to.
That's another thing. Is it an internet thing, or was it always around?
Like, it's you know, it's fucking always been around, because I imagine it's the same thing that, and it comes nicely back to the Blaze thing. Blaze got grief because he wasn't Bruce. Janick gets grief because he's not Adrian.
Even though Adrian's back. Yeah.
You know, and that's the whole point. They're not fucking supposed to be.
It's the same old thing that it's like the Pantera and Exalder argument, or the Possessed and Death argument.
Yeah.
I watched an interview the other day with Jeff from Possessed, and it came up again. And he says, Possessed didn't create death metal. We were the first death metal. So who did create death metal? He went, everyone.
Yeah.
They all created it in their own way, and it all mixed into the pot. And death metal's become something none of us could imagine. And more bands come out every day, and all of them help create it. So everyone created it. We just happened to be the first. And if we didn't do what we did then, another band would have come along and done it. We just happened to have that particular formula at that time, and metal was evolving anyway. We just happened to be the first. And then Chuck took it. And I never had a problem with Chuck. Chuck
formed it into something monstrous.
I was always friends with Chuck. I always loved what Chuck did. It was awesome. I was a fan of Death as well. There has never been anything between us. Got nothing but respect for Chuck. Love Chuck. Then you go to Carl Thomas. Did Pantera? Nick Exalders? No. Love Pantera. Love Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. We never wrote Walk.
That's it. We never wrote fucking Hostile.
Yeah. And even if they did, so what? If they did rip us off, we never made it. But a band that was influenced by us did make it. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he said. And then he turns his camera around like that and he goes, oh, look, that's Phil's very own gold disc from Far Beyond Driven. Phil's given that to me. So there's no argument. It's always it's always the fans. It's always between the fans. There's never. Yeah. So, folks, I think we've cleared that one up.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you don't like Janick, please give us a genuine argument of why you don't like Janick. And for the rest of you, go through your Iron Maiden albums, click on all the ones that Janick's got writing credits on, make a little playlist, and have a playthrough and see for yourself.
Rock the fuck out.
Rock the fuck out. And for the haters, fucking pull your head out your ass, because Janick rules!